Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. If you're new to my channel, my name is Megan and I'm very glad that you decided to stop by. What I want to do is walk around the garden and explain to you and show you how I water everything. Now, recently I've had a viewer ask me, how do you water your garden? And I thought it'd be perfect to do a short little video explaining to you how it is I water all of this large garden that I have. So let's get started. Now, before we go in the back, I do want to quickly give you a background of my garden journey. So I have been gardening for a total of 5 years, if you include the first year in my original home state of Illinois, and then the last 4 years in my new home state of Alabama. And I say all that because over the years, I've learned what's wasted time. I've learned things that can be very tedious. I've made mistakes. I've had some successes. And so watering is one of those things that in the beginning, it was really time consuming, and even now I still do a lot of hand watering, but I've also added some things in my garden that has saved a lot of time, which is why I want to do this video, so that I can show you those things. And I also want to say that if there's ways that you water your garden that could be helpful to share with others, please leave them in the comments below, because not only would it help me, but it would help those that read the comments. I always encourage that because I'm trying so much to build this community of gardeners where we can all be there for each other, help each other, share my garden with you all every week so you can see the failures and successes in hopes that it helps you with your garden. So please definitely leave comments below if you think of anything or want to share how you water your garden. But I just wanted to share that with you because I don't have it perfect, but I want to share with you what I do so far. So let's get going. So we're going to start down here on my driveway garden. A lot of what I have here are just bags and green stalks. Now, the nice thing about green stalks is all you have to do is water the top reservoir and then the entire system gets watered. Now, they do also have a watering system that clips along the side. I do have them, I just haven't connected them yet because I have to figure out the hose situation. And you just turn the knob and it fills it automatically for you. It is really, really nice. So I would say, because I have 19 green stalks, because I added 2 in the back, that I would say it takes about 25 to 30 minutes, give or take, depending on how hot it's been, to fill up all of the green stalks. But you guys, that's a lot of green stalks. So for me, taking that time to fill those is not as time consuming. And thankfully, my oldest does help with watering the garden because she has the time, which is super helpful. Now, I will say the grow bags, every single one of these are hand watered. So I used to have a drip irrigation system, but the problem that I was having was trying to figure out for the water to not drip. Now, I did think about getting like those little plastic tubes, I can't even think of the name, you guys, and putting it in between so it wouldn't drip and it would go into there, but you guys haven't had the time. I just haven't had the time to figure. Aren't these so pretty though? Sorry, I'm getting totally sidetracked by this color. It's so pretty. But I just haven't had the time. I may get back to doing that down the road, but right now, every single one of these bags does get hand watered. Now, obviously, the best way to water anything is rainwater. I mean, rainwater is by far the best. But when there isn't any rain, we do hand water. And sometimes what I will do is I'll say, okay, to my oldest, I'll say, just water the driveway, and she'll know what to do. Water the driveway, and then we'll water the back tomorrow. And that has worked for us because she does have that time to water. So these are all hand watered, and then the green stalks, we water the top reservoir. Now, as we're walking up here, I do want to say a few things. Typically during the fall, obviously in the cooler months in the springtime, we don't really water a whole lot because it's not super hot. But see, right now when it's summertime, and it is super hot and we don't get rain, we are watering definitely at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. So it does get time consuming, but again, we have the time to do it. Now, if we didn't, more than likely I would have to rethink all of this. But because we do have the time, we have been hand watering. Now, What I will say is all of the beds last year, because one thing I will not be doing is hand watering every single one of these beds. That to me was very time consuming. So what we did was we bought these grids from Garden in Minutes, and they have helped us tremendously. So here's where you connect the hose. And then I had the idea last year, and I actually made a short on YouTube. I will link that in the description below. But I had an idea that I told my husband to do some sort of a quick connect. Let me get the hose, I'm gonna show you real quick. Okay, so if you see this, and I'm sorry if I don't say the right terminology, I know for some people that drives them bonkers, but this piece right here is just a quick release. Let me get an up close of it so you can see it. Okay, so when I turn on the hose, this is what we did. We put this little like lever piece to shut the water on and off, so that as I'm switching them from bed to bed, it's not pouring water. I can turn it off, switch it to the next bed, and then what I'll do is I will pull this back, connect it to the piece that you had just seen, and then I will turn the lever to put the water on, and it'll water the entire bed. This has saved me so much time and so much energy, and then my oldest will then just water the rest of the bags and buckets. All right, so when it comes to the water grids, I want to show this to you first before I show you how to connect it. First of all, this little dude right here is one of the best things my husband ever installed. We have one in the front and back, and you can see that it just rolls and reels right back there. But here's what I want to show you that he installed to help with the watering. So it's a 4-way hose connector. This is the one that I connect to the water grids. So I will turn this one off and I will turn this one on so that only the pressure is going through this hose right here. And then let me show you how I connect it, and I'm going to show you how the grids water the bed. All right, I'm going to do an up close so that you can see how I connect it. So you can see this pulls back, and then it's going to connect right in here. Now I have the water on. I am not turning this valve yet until I connect it here. And then once I do, I will turn this on, and you will see that this grid will start to water the bed. So you see it's connected. Now I'm going to turn it on. You can hear the water. And then let me show you the water that comes out of the grid. Okay, so do you see the water? You probably don't because I have it kind of low, but you can see the water that's coming out of the little holes. You can even hear it too. And it waters directly to the root. So each line is throwing water, or spraying, not throwing, but spraying water to the middle part of the square, which is where the plant is at. Now, one thing I do change with the water grid, because you can see there's a large section at the end that obviously doesn't have a grid, I will turn this one to direct over here so it will water it, but I still hand water the ends a little bit just to make sure that it gets the adequate amount of water, and then the rest of the bed is completely watered. And you guys, this small little change that I made last year, I'm telling you, for me in my garden anyways, was a game changer, and it helped tremendously. So I have one of these in every single one of my beds, except for my little comfrey bed. It's a little square, and actually I do have a grid for that. I gotta get that in there. But I wanted to show this to you because this really has helped a lot. So I have them in every one of my beds. They have all different sizes. And so I bought one that fit, you know, it fits every one of my beds, the long ones, the skinny ones, the larger rectangle ones, everything. I even have one for this square, but like I said, I still haven't put it in there. And then let me show you how I disconnect it. Now to turn it off, I will just turn this lever to cut the water so it stops, so that I don't take this out and water gushes all over the place. And then I simply just unattach it here so that way I can connect it to the next bed, and this is what has helped me. So what's really nice is I'll have this bed watering while I do some garden work, and then I might put the timer on for about 15, 20 minutes, however long I feel like it needs to be watered, and then I'll connect it to the next bed and I'll just keep doing some garden work. So the whole bed's getting watered while I'm doing something else in the garden. So I came up on my stairs to try to get an aerial view so you can kind of see. Now I will walk back there so you can also see what I have back there and what I hand water. But you can see all the beds, you guys. I have a lot of beds. So every one of those has a grid and they are watered. And then throughout this garden, you'll see I'll have bags here. Here's one of the GREENSTALKs that I have. I have some more bags back here. And then my newest trellis system that my husband built has a bunch of buckets. And then there's bags that line up in the back. And then my newer trellis system here. So I'm going to show those to you real quick, but all of those bags, you guys, do get watered. But I will show you that this right here, what's nice about that is it is higher up, so we're not breaking our back to water it. Let me show you in just a minute. Starting with this new trellis system, I have a lot of 5-gallon and 2-gallon grow bags, and we do hand water these. And then a lot of the bags back here that I will walk through right now, you'll see that we hand water. Now, I do want to mention, because I don't want to forget, one of the ways that helps me with watering is mulching. Now you may think, well, how does mulching help with watering? It actually does a lot. So because of the mulch, what this does, let me see if I can move some back, you can see what I'm talking about. So because of this mulch, it helps to retain the moisture in the soil so I don't have to water, let's say, on a daily basis or every other day. It helps to keep the water in. You can see, look at how moist that is. It's very, very, very moist. And so mulching, that's why in my garden you will see the straw on everything, because I straw and mulch everything to keep the plants from drying out, to keep the soil moist, and to help with having to not water constantly, because grow bags and buckets, they do dry out faster, as opposed to, say, a very large, thicker bed that holds water a lot more than, let's say, a vase or a grow bag. So mulching in between, or mulching all of my grow bags, buckets, and beds and everything has helped tremendously with watering. And the other thing I want to mention too is I think mulching is super important, because let's say it does rain and you get a hard rain or a really large storm, and that water is pounding on that soil, you're going to lose soil, and it will just start to wear away and start kind of like not bouncing, but it'll be, taken out because the rain is hitting it so hard. So that's another reason why I mulch. Plus it helps the soil to stay cool during the really hot, summer times, and then it also helps the soil to stay warmer during the really cold times. Now, when it comes to this trellis system over here that my husband built, what I really like about this is the height of, I don't know if you call it like a deck, or what he built is at the waist height. So I'm not bending over and we're not hurting our backs by watering or doing any pruning. And that has helped. I try really hard when it comes to my garden back here. Maybe I'll do a separate video on ways to not hurt your back. As far as placement, I did do a video not long ago of gardening smarter and not harder, but that was more the rollers. I love rollers on my bags and buckets, especially on the driveway. But I always try to think of placement. So like for instance, even back there, you can see there's a bunch of pallets to try to get it up off the ground to make my life easier. And even here we have, oops, sorry. My husband had put wood here. Now he did that to level it out, but it helps with the height. It also helps with watering. So I'm not hurting my back. And so the hand watering makes it bearable when I have these positioned in a way that won't hurt me. By the way, I can't help it, you guys, look at this cucumber. I'll be sharing this on the garden tour, but it is absolutely beautiful. This is one of my favorite cucumbers. I think this is the Piccolini F1 or the Poniente F1. They are so delicious and they get very, very large. And there's nothing like looking at flowers in the evening because the color is just, it's more vibrant to me, because as much as I love the sun, sometimes the sun with the camera just doesn't do it justice. So I just have to share these real quick before I end the video. They're so pretty. Absolutely stunning. Okay, before I end the video, because you can see it is so hot out here. It is incredibly hot and super humid, which I am sort of used to it because I spent a lot of my summers in Florida, Miami, and Flagler Beach in particular. When I was younger, it was like my summer getaway to go see my family. So I'm used to the humidity, I don't mind it, but oh my gosh, I'm just like melting. But before I get off, I just want to say that when it comes to watering, I really feel like it is just honestly kind of personal preference. At the same time, I think there's always ways to improve watering. And so right now in my life where I'm at, I have someone to help me watering. I have the grids that has helped me, but I may change down the road and do something different. And I think it really just depends on where you're at in your life, how much time you have to give to gardening. And so for me, I just want to share with you what is working for us right now. And so if things do change or I get a new watering system, I will definitely share it with you all, but this is what has worked for us and I wanted to share it with you all. So friends, thanks so much for stopping by. I love to share my garden with you all in hopes that it is encouraging to you, because I know for me, gardening can have its ups and downs and we need to stick together and help one another. And I also want to share that I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of your comments below, because a lot of times I feel like you are the ones that are really encouraging me, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate every single one of you. So I look forward to seeing you guys next time, and always remember, friends, and never forget this. I want you to be encouraged and then stay encouraged and always stay inspired. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.